Lesson 13. At home. Furniture.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we will review there is and there are. We will also review some and any. Then we will learn the comparative as. But before we begin, we should learn some important vocabulary. We're going to look at the rooms in a house or an apartment. Then we will learn what people put in these rooms. Okay, take a look at your screen. A room has a ceiling, a floor, and usually 4 walls. There are also windows and doors. A bedroom is the room where people sleep. It usually has a bed, a wardrobe, a bedside table, and a lamp. There are pictures or posters on the wall. There are pillows and blankets on the bed. A bathroom is the room where people wash. It usually has a toilet, sink, and shower or bathtub. There is usually a mirror in the bathroom. A kitchen is the room where people cook. It usually has a sink, refrigerator, stove, counters, and cupboards. It sometimes has a table and chairs. Now the dining room. The dining room is the room where people eat. It usually has a big table, chairs, and a cabinet or buffet. Living room. A living room is the room where people relax and visit. It usually has a sofa, some armchairs, and a coffee table. There may be lamps, plants, and a picture on the wall. Sometimes there are rugs on the floor. There may be a bookcase. There may be a fireplace. Chairs, beds, desks, and tables are called furniture. Furniture is a non-count noun and is always singular.
There is, there are.
Now let's review there is and there are. I'll tell you about my house. There are 3 mirrors in my apartment. There is a big bed in my sister's room. There isn't a sofa in our dining room. There are 6 rooms in my house. There aren't any beds in the living room. So we use there is and there are when we talk about something for the first time to say that it exists. The subject follows the verb to be when there is used. The verb always agrees with the noun that follows there. Take a look at these examples. There is a sofa in the living room. Okay, now in this sentence, the subject is sofa. It follows the verb to be when there is used. So there is a sofa in the living room. And there are 3 chairs in the living room. The subject is chairs. There are 3 chairs in the living room. All right, now the negative of there is there is not. Okay? There is not. Okay, or, of course, short form, there isn't. Now look at your screen for an example. There isn't a map in the classroom. Okay, The negative of there are is there are not, or short form, there aren't. Okay, look at your screen for an example. There aren't any pictures on the wall. In the yes/no question form, is or are comes before there. Okay, take a look at your screen for an example. Is there a map on the wall? Or, are there any beds in the living room? Okay, you may use there is and there are when answering a question using how many. Okay, look at your screen for an example. How many chairs are there in the living room? Answer, there are 3 chairs in the living room. Okay, now let's practice. There is, there are, there isn't, there aren't. Sylvia, are there some books in your desk?
Yes, there are some books on my desk. Let me count. 1 and 2. There are 2 books on my desk.
All right, good. Alberto, is there a fireplace in your living room?
No, there isn't a fireplace in my living room. My father thinks it is dangerous.
All right, thank you, Alberto. Linda, how many lamps are in your bedroom?
There are 2 lamps. I have one near my bed. I like to read at night. And there is one on my computer desk.
All right, very good, everyone. Now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
There is one big window in Alicia's dining room. There are many cupboards in my grandmother's kitchen. There isn't a telephone in Tim's bedroom. There isn't a balcony at Alan's house.
Read and repeat.
We can begin yes/no questions with isn't there, or, of course, aren't there. Okay, we can also give short answers to these questions. Here are some examples. Isn't there a computer in Tim's room? No, there isn't. Isn't there a computer in Tim's room? No, there is not. Next example. Aren't there any candles in your room? Yes, there are. There are 4 candles. Aren't there any candles in your room? Yes, there are. There are 4 candles. All right, let's practice there is and there are one more time. Linda, is there a bookcase in your living room?
No, there is not. There is a bookcase in my bedroom. I love to read books. And there is a bookcase in my sister's bedroom too.
Good, very good. Reading is important. And how many books are in your bookcase?
I don't know. There are many.
Great. Sylvia, are there chairs in your kitchen?
Yes, there are 6 chairs. There is a table too. We sometimes eat in the kitchen, but we usually eat in the dining room because there is a big table in the dining room.
Oh, are there any candles in the dining room?
Yes, there are many candles because my mother really loves candles.
Thank you, Sylvia. Alberto, is there a lamp in your kitchen?
No, the light is on the ceiling. It's always on because my mother loves to cook.
Are there many cupboards in your kitchen?
Yes, there are. We have lots of pots, pans, and dishes.
Lots of pots or pots?
Sorry, pots.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, here is a chart to help you better understand there is and there are. Take a look at your screen. Now, the subject always follows be when there is used. When it's positive and singular, here's an example. There is a book on the table. Plural. There are 3 books on the table. Here's an example of negative. Negative singular. There isn't a book on the table. Negative plural. There aren't any books on the table. Yes, no questions. Singular. Is there a book on the table? Yes, no question, plural. Are there any books on the table? Now, how about information questions? How many books are on the table? Plural. How many books are on the table?
Some and any.
Now we will review some and any. Before we do this, let's quickly review count and non-count nouns. Take a look on your screen. Let's look at these sentences. First, I have an apple. Next example. There isn't a bed in that room. Next sentence. Sarah has a computer in her living room. Alec doesn't have a mirror in his bathroom. So you can see that the nouns apple, bed, computer, and mirror are count nouns. You can count them with numbers. 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 beds, 1 computer, etc. They can be preceded by an indefinite article, a or an. They have a plural form ending in s, es, or ies. Now, look at these sentences. There is furniture on the truck. Next, Mike needs sugar for his tea. Next sentence, Tony must do his homework in his bedroom. Next example, Alex always puts water in the refrigerator. So what did you notice about these nouns? Well, the nouns furniture, sugar, homework, and water are non-count nouns. They can't be counted with numbers. 1 homework. No, we don't say that. They can't be preceded by a or an, and there is no plural form. It's just homework, furniture, sugar, and water. Now, let's look at some first. Look at some examples. There are some flowers on the table. Next, there is some rice in the cupboard. Bridget has some blouses in her wardrobe. Next example. We have some perfume in the bathroom. Some is usually used in positive sentences. It can be used in front of count or non-count nouns. With count nouns, it is used in front of plural nouns. Okay, let's look at some examples. We have one chair, one chair. Or plural count nouns, we have some chairs, some chairs. Or for non-count nouns, we have some furniture, some furniture. So, with non-count nouns, it means there is a quantity of something, there is an amount of something. Now we're ready to practice count, non-count nouns, and some. Sylvia, are there some CDs in your room?
Yes, there are some CDs in my room. The stereo is in the living room. My father's CDs are in the living room.
Okay. Alberto, is there some soap in your bathroom?
Yes, there is some soap. I have my own soap.
All right, thank you. Linda, how much soup is in your refrigerator?
There is some soup. We eat soup for dinner all the time.
Okay, great answers. Now we should take some time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
Yasmin has some homework to do at the kitchen table. My father bought some paint for the dining room ceiling. Mother needs some time to make the cake. Jill bought some new pillows for the sofa. There are some pans on the stove.
Read and repeat.
Now let's review any. Take a look at these examples. Ken doesn't have any homework tonight. Next example. There aren't any paintings in my bedroom. Another example. There aren't any good programs on TV tonight. Another example. Michael doesn't have any clean clothes in his wardrobe. So, we notice that we can use any in negative sentences and also questions. Okay, in a negative sentence, any means there is or are none. Okay, so it's used in front of count or non-count nouns. Any can also be used after never. Take a look at these examples. Ken doesn't have any homework tonight. Means the same as Ken has no homework. Different example. There aren't any good programs on TV tonight. This is the same as there are no good programs on TV tonight. Another example. There are never any bottles of water in the refrigerator. means the same as there are never bottles of water in the refrigerator. Okay, in question form, any can be used in positive or negative form. Follow these examples. Do you have any books? Yes, I have 4 books. Don't you have any books? No, I don't have any books. When we use any in a negative form like that, don't you have any books? It's almost like expressing disbelief, but pretty much the same. Okay, now let's practice using any. Sylvia, do you have a rug in your bedroom?
No, there aren't any rugs in my bedroom.
Okay. Linda, are there any pets at your house?
No, there aren't any pets at my house. My father doesn't like cats. My mother doesn't like dogs. And I had a fish last year. I gave it to my cousin.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Linda. Alberto, is there any lasagna in your refrigerator?
Yes, there is some lasagna in the refrigerator. My mother made it last night. It's very delicious.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time to do some looking and listening.
Look and listen.
Grandmother doesn't have any time to clean the kitchen. There aren't any plants in my aunt's apartment. Malcolm's friends didn't bring any presents to the party. There isn't any shampoo in the bathroom. There is never any cola in the refrigerator.
Read and repeat. As.
Okay, let's practice one more time. Is there any dessert in your refrigerator, Linda?
No, there isn't any desserts. My father always eats it. He loves sweets.
Good answer. Alberto, are there any DVDs at your house?
Yes, there are some new DVDs in the living room. My mother likes to watch films at night. It helps her relax.
Oh, okay. I like to watch films too. Does she like old films or new films?
She likes old films.
Ah, okay. Me too. Thank you, Alberto. Sylvia, are there any paintings on the wall of your living room?
No, there aren't any paintings on the wall. There are many pictures of my family and there are pictures of my football team.
All right. Good job, everyone. Now, we are going to learn the comparative as. But first, we need to review adjectives. Take a look at some sentences on your screen. It is beautiful. Next, Jake's bedroom is dirty. Next example. There is a delicious cake in the cupboard. Next, Andy has a new magazine on the coffee table. So you can see beautiful, dirty, delicious, and new are adjectives. Now remember, adjectives describe nouns. They are usually in front of the noun. They come before the noun. And we also know that sometimes they follow the verb to be. Here are some more examples. It is beautiful. Okay, beautiful describes it. So it's following, in this example, it is following the verb to be. Jake's bedroom is dirty. Dirty describes bedroom. So again, the adjective is following the verb to be. Next example. There is a delicious cake in the refrigerator. Delicious describes cake. In this case, the adjective is before the noun. Next example. Andy has a new magazine on the coffee table. New describes magazine. And again, the adjective is before the noun. Okay, now we're ready to practice adjectives. Okay, so I will ask you questions and you use adjectives in your answers. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Linda, what is on the coffee table in your living room?
There are brown candles, there are some books, and there's a big picture of our family.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Sylvia, what is in the refrigerator in your kitchen?
There are many things. There are green peppers, there are cartons of fresh eggs, there are 4 cans of Coke.
Okay, very good. Alberto, tell me about your dining room.
Yes, okay. There are some beautiful pictures on the wall. There is an old table with 4 chairs, and there are many colorful vases.
All right, very good. Thank you. Now, let's look at adverbs. Take a look at these sentences. The students did their homework quietly. Next sentence. Ellen cleaned her bedroom carefully. Next sentence. My mother cooks very well. Next sentence. She ate her breakfast quickly this morning. So, what did you notice about adverbs? Well, since adjectives describe nouns, we can understand that adverbs describe verbs. Okay, they give us more information about the verb. An adverb tells us how a person does something or how something happens, and many of them end in Y. Let's take a look at some more examples. The students did their homework quietly. In this sentence, the adverb is quietly because it's describing how the students did their homework. Okay, next example. Ellen cleaned her bedroom carefully. The adverb is carefully. It tells us how Ellen cleaned her bedroom. Next example. My mother cooks very well. The adverb is well. The adverb tells us how she cooks. She ate her breakfast quickly this morning. The adverb is quickly because it tells us how she ate her breakfast. Now let's look at some special vocabulary. So remember, good is an adjective, but well is an adverb. Okay, let's look at some examples. Her French is good. She speaks French well. Fred is a good guitar player. He plays the guitar well. So some words can be adjectives and adverbs. Listen, look at this example. She is a fast reader. She can read fast. John is a hard worker. John works hard. The cleaning woman was late. My father got up late this morning. Let's look at these sentences again. Okay, first we have, she is a fast reader. Fast is describing reader, which is a person, right? Not a verb, it's a person, so it's a noun. So that means fast is an adjective. Okay, next example. She can read fast. This is saying the same thing, but this time, fast is telling us how she reads. So it's telling us about the verb. So fast is an adverb. So let's review. She is a fast reader, fast as an adjective, but she can read fast, fast as an adverb. Next example. John is a hard worker. In this sentence, worker is a noun, and hard is telling us about the worker. So in this sentence, hard is an adjective. But we can say, John works hard. Again, the sentences are saying the same thing. But in this second sentence, hard describes how John works, which is a verb. So in this sentence, hard is an adverb. So let's review. John is a hard worker, hard as an adjective. John works hard, hard as an adverb. Let's look at the next example. My father was late. Here, late tells us about father, a noun. So that means late is an adjective. But my father got up late this morning. So the two sentences are saying the same information, but in this sentence, late describes how father got up. So that means late is an adverb. Let's take a look again. My father was late. Late is an adjective, but my father got up late this morning. Late as an adverb. All right, adverbs are also used to express time. Today, tomorrow, and yesterday are adverbs. Take a look at some examples.